All right, AP Calc, let's do this. So let's start off with part 4 where it says the general power rule. So here this states that for any ax to the n, the derivative, let's say this is like f of x, right? So then the derivative of f of x, so f prime of x, is just equal to a times n, right? And then x to the n minus 1. Okay, so the idea here is that if I wanted to find y prime, what I do is I take this 3 on the outside, right? And then I times it by 2. And then I just have x to the 2 minus 1. So that just becomes 6x. All right, so that's y prime. Okay, what I want you to do is try and complete the rest by yourself, right? Using the general power rule. So you have questions A to F, all right? So let's see, if you want to see the solutions for s prime of t, what would it be? S prime of t is equal to negative 15t squared. Okie dokie. Let's see, what about letter C? Letter C, we have to change this into some fractional exponents. So notice that this is equal to y is equal to 6 times x to the 1/2. And then now we have to do the power rule over here. So it becomes y prime is equal to 1/2 times 6, right? And then this is x to the 1/2. And then here we need a minus 1. But then what does this become? And let me try and extend this a little bit more. So then you have y prime equals 1/2 times 6, which is 3, right? And then 3 times x to the 1/2. And what is 1 equal to? It's equal to 2 over 2. And remember that 1 is equal to 2 over 2. And why did we change this 1 to 2 over 2? Because we want to subtract these fractions. And the denominators need to be the same. So then here, y prime is just equal to 3 times x to the, what is 1 minus 2? That is negative 1/2. And then you have to take your time and make sure that we don't have a negative exponent over here. So we have 3 times 1 over x to the 1/2, right? And then that just becomes 3 over square root of x, okay? Because here, what's happening is you're doing 3 times 1, which is a 3 up here. And how do you convert x to the 1/2 back to some radical? It'll be just like this, okay? All right, let's try the next one. Here, 3 over x squared. So notice that this is also equal to 3 times x to the negative 2, okay? And then you say g prime of x is equal to negative 6 x to the negative 2, and then what do you have to do here? Minus 1, okay? So then that becomes negative 6 x to the minus 3. But then this becomes negative 6 1 over x cubed. And that just equals, let me write it over here, this just equals negative 6 over x cubed, okay? And that is g prime of x. Okay, let's try letter E. How do you do letter E? Let's see. Okay, we have 4 over square root of x, and notice that that's equal to 4 times x to the negative 1/2. Okay, so that was a little tricky because here notice that, let's break this down. Like if you have 4 over square root x, notice that that's equal to 4 over x to the 1/2. But notice that you want to put this into this kind of setup over here. So what you're going to do is to put this onto the numerator, you're just going to say that this is equal to 4 times x to the negative 1/2. Okay? And then now we could take the derivative of this over here, because then this becomes negative 2 x to the negative 3 over 2, because you're subtracting a 1 over here. And then how do you convert this back to some sort of rational expression? then you just have negative 2 times 1 over x to the 3 over 2. Okay? And then how do you continue from here? You can continue by saying that this is equal to negative 2 times 1 over the, let's see, cubic root, what is it? Yeah. So the square root of x cubed. Okay? Sometimes you have to pause the video, not pause the video, but sometimes you just have to really take your time and remember how to bring this back to a radical. And then this becomes negative 2 over square root of x cubed. Okay? And this represents the derivative of f of x. Okie dokie, how do you do this one? Here, okay, notice that this is equal to negative 8 over x to the 4 over 3, right? And then this is equal to negative 8 times x to the negative 4 over 3. So then now what you need to do is you need to find the derivative of this. And if you want, take your time, pause the video, and try and do it by yourself. Just try and, follow what we've been doing. So then here this becomes, okay, so if I have negative 8 x to the negative 4 over 3, I want to take the derivative of this. So I need to do negative 8 times negative 4 over 3, right? I need to do this times this. And what does that equal, just so we can get it out of the way? This is 32 over 3, right? Because negative 8 times negative 4 is positive 32. 1 times 3 is 3. And then what do we do? Then we need to take this x to the negative 4 over 3, and we need to subtract the 1. And remember, we're going to let that 1 equal to 3 over 3. So then this becomes x to the negative 7 over 3. So then this becomes, this is x to the negative 7 over 3, which then becomes 32 over 3, which is equal to 1, I'm sorry, I messed up, which is equal to 32 over 3, my bad, times 1 over x to the 7 over 3, but that's just equal to 32 over 3 cubic root of x to the 7. Okay? And this represents the derivative of y. So this is y prime over here. Okay? All right. I will pause. I will make another video for the next part. Okay? Enjoy.